Good afternoon, students. Today we shall be learning about the climate, vegetation, and the wildlife of the great Indian desert. So, let us first read about the climate of Thar Desert. How is the climate of the desert throughout the year? So, climate. This region experiences an extreme climate and hardly receives any rainfall. Due to the presence of sand which heats up and cools down very fast, the days are very hot and the nights are very cold in this region. May and June are the hottest months with temperatures soaring up to 50 degrees Celsius. During the winters, the temperature varies from 4 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius. January is the coldest month of the year. So children, the desert region, it has an extreme form of climate. Extreme means that sometimes it is very hot and sometimes it is very cold, and it also receives very less rainfall. And as we all know that there is sand everywhere in the desert, so children, what happens? The sand becomes very hot during the daytime. Why? When the sun rays fall on the sand, it becomes very hot, and in the night time it becomes very cold. Now, children, this happens because the sand becomes very hot when it is heated due to the sunlight. So, when the sunlight falls on the sand gets heated up and thus it becomes very hot. But when the sun sets, the sand cools down and it becomes cold. So, this is the extreme form of climate. Sometimes it becomes very hot and sometimes it becomes very cold. Then May and June are the hottest months. May and June, that means the summertime. So May and June during the summers are the hottest months, and sometimes the temperature even reaches, soaring means the temperature even reaches 50 degrees Celsius. It means that the temperature rises up. And we in the last video we read that during the May and June months dust storms are also blowing. So dust storms also blow in May and June. But in winter the temperature falls and it ranges between 4 degree to 10 degrees Celsius. It means that the temperature is always around or is always between 4 to 10 degrees Celsius, and January is the coldest month of the year. So May and June are the hottest months and January is the coldest month. So this was about the climate. Now children, just beside the climate paragraph you will see pick stop, and there a diagram is there, and the first question that it is asking is that name this feature of the desert. So children, this type of feature or this type of thing is known as a mushroom rock, and it is formed due to the action of air and water. So due to the action of air and water, what happens? The sand, it moves the air, it moves the sand from one place to another, and with the action of water falling on it, it hardens, and thus this type of feature is formed. Now we will read about vegetation. Due to scanty rainfall in the desert, the vegetation almost consists of herbs, small plants, and thorny bushes. Some hardy trees which can bear the dry conditions can be seen at few places. The khejri tree grows in the desert region. So children, in the last video itself, we read that the desert region is not very fertile. We read now that not many crops can be grown there. So it is not very fertile due to the presence of which soil? Due to the presence of sandy soil. And also children, since there is very scanty rainfall means very less rainfall. So because it receives very less rainfall, that is why not many plants grow there. And plants that grows are herbs, some small plants and thorny bushes. So only herbs, small plants and thorny bushes grow there, and some trees which are very strong and which can sustain or which can bear the harsh dry climate are found in the desert. And one such tree is khejri tree, and just beside this paragraph you can see the picture of that khejri tree. So khejri tree is found there, and apart from this khejri tree you will also find babool, kikar and cactus. So these are some of the common plants, and trees that you will find in a desert. And you all know that cactus is grown in abundance in the desert region. So this was about vegetation. Now we will move on to the last paragraph, which is wildlife. So animals which can survive harsh weather conditions are found in this region. The great Indian bustard, an endangered species, is found in this region, along with black bucks, cheetal deer, nilgai, partridges, quail, gazelle, duck, geese, and the hardy camel. The camel is also called the ship of the desert because it can survive without water for many days. Now, children, in the desert, only those animals can live which can survive or which can live in such harsh climate, because it is very hot in the day and it becomes very cold in the night. And there is also very little water available for drinking. That is why not many animals can be found in the desert. So animals that can survive or live here are the great Indian bustard. And children, it is an endangered species. What do you mean by endangered? So, endangered means that the number of such birds or number of such animals is very less. It has become less, and if we will not save them, they will ultimately vanish or they will disappear from the earth. We will not be able to see them again. So, great Indian bustard is an endangered species, and then we can also find black bucks, cheetal deer, nilgai, partridges, quail, gazelle, duck, geese, and camel. So, children, the names that I took, I know some of these names are familiar to you, but some of the names you must have heard for the first time. So, I have saved a few photos which I'm going to show you at the end of this video, so that it will become clear that what does the animal or what does the bird look like. So children, camel is known as the ship of the desert. We all know that camel is the most common mode of transportation in a desert. That is why camel is known as the ship of the desert. And why are they called so? They are called so because they can survive without water for many days. See children, camels have a hump on their body. So they store the water in that hump, and that is why they can live without water for many days. So wherever they find water, they'll drink lots and lots of water, and that water will be stored in that hump. So whenever the camel is thirsty, it will drink water from that hump only. That is why it can live without water for many days. Now, camels do not sweat and have padded feet, which help them to walk on the sand easily. They are also used to carry loads, pull carts, and plow the fields. In the border areas, camels are used by the armed forces for patrolling and guarding the international boundary. People also domesticate camels for milk. So, children, how do the camels walk so easily on the sand? If you might have visited any beach, you know it is very difficult to walk on the sand. You cannot walk really fast on the sand. But how do the camels walk so easily on the sand? So the camels, they do not sweat. So they do not sweat, and they have padded feet. Padded feet means they have a soft cushion like feet which helps them to walk easily on the sand. And they are also used to carry loads of people, they are used to pull carts, and they are even used to plow the fields. And children, moreover, camels are also used by our army officers to guard the border of India. We all know that um, since a lot of vehicles cannot run on the sand, that is why the armed forces or our army officers, they are using camels as mode of transportation to guard our international borders. And then children, lastly, people also keep camels as domestic animals so that they can take their milk or they can use their milk. So I hope that these three paragraphs are clear to you. Now I am going to show you some of the images of different animals and birds. So children, here as you can see, the very first image is of the great Indian bustard, which is an endangered species. It means it is very rare and we have to save it. Then the next image is of partridges. It is also a kind of a bird. Then you have quail, and then there is blackbuck. So these are the different birds and animals that you find in a desert. Lastly, this is a nilgai that you see in a desert. Okay, so children, this was the end of today's session. In the next class, we will deal with the people, occupation, and water. So, children, read the chapter, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you.